Getting ready to sell your home? Discover a stress-free planning strategy for success.
As well as having full-time jobs, looking after 3 children, enjoying some travelling, and of course making YouTube videos, what we're really struggling to do is visualise the amount of work that we need to get done in order to get our house ready for selling. And our target for that is the beginning of April next year. So, will we be able to do it? If you are new here, welcome and thank you for watching. We are hoping to encourage you with our fun, family-friendly travel and DIY videos, which we'll be sharing as we get ready to sell our home. If you enjoy our video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything and it will mean the world to us.
Luckily, not only am I overly organised, as Matt thinks, but also he's a project manager. So between us, we've come up with a 3-step formula to solve our problem. While working towards this strategy, we have found 2 tools that have really been helpful. One of them is just amazing. We're using it for several of our projects, and the other one is really simple but very efficient. Following these 3 steps has really helped us visualize what our months ahead look like, and it has given us the confidence to know that we will succeed at having the house ready to sell by the 1st of April.
So this strategy and the 3 tools that we've used have actually really helped bring us together. It's allowed us to get on the same page, and as an added bonus, it's kept the divorce lawyers at bay.
You'll never leave me.
I couldn't afford to.
So just to give you a bit of a background story around the 1st of April, Naomi's coming to the end of her primary school years and she's due to move on to a new school next September. So with us being in a new area, we wanted to make sure that she moves from a current primary school straight onto her new middle school, secondary school. Yeah, I still need to learn about schools.
Depending on the area we move to and the structure it will be, but yeah, I think that's the best thing for her. She's at an age, you know, where things may become slightly overwhelming. We have had a number of estate agents come to visit the property to give us some valuations, and their feedback has been actually extremely useful. And we have a number of tips that we were going to share with you at the end of this video.
Right, let's crack on with that strategy. Step number 1, you might ask where even to start. I personally was feeling very overwhelmed with the situation. I was struggling to understand how much we had to do, and in my head it was just an endless list, and there was no way we would have been able to complete everything within the required timescale. As for Matt, I think that it was maybe the opposite, where because he didn't have a visual, he didn't realise just how much there was.
So for me, I'm definitely more of a visual person, so I need to see it. Pictures, drawn down, whatever it may be. I can't process information in my head and try to arrange things, timings, all that kind of good stuff. So getting it down on screen, on a piece of paper, has been really beneficial for both of us to kind of alleviate that stress.
Yeah, exactly. So I've gone from having all these thoughts 24/7 in my head to not, because now they're in these tools that we've been using, and that's been a massive weight off my shoulders. First of all, we created a template that we were going to take around with us in each room. Within that template, there were the following headings: selling, decluttering, to do, keeping, or other. We took the same approach for every single room within the house. So we wanted to make sure, one, we were as thorough as possible and not miss anything. That involved slowly working from left to right across the screen and picking out anything that we needed to take care of, whether that be fixing a crack in the wall, moving a piece of furniture from somewhere to another, or, you know, selling the bed. And we made that journey throughout the house and made sure we had that approach all over. So a piece of advice from us is to take your time. It's really easy to overlook something because you go into the room, you think you know what needs to be taken care of, and actually miss the obvious things that are in front of you. So take your time. It's time for step 2, and this is where we're going to use this very exciting tool that we have been using for several of our projects, and we're going to show you how to access it for free as well, so stick around for that. We're
very busy, we've got a lot on, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well. We have used a number of apps, lists, written things down, Philippa, in the past, and whilst they worked for a while, that we just haven't kept them up, and there's probably a reason for that. But this particular application that we're using for us is a bit of a game changer. We can manage all of our work, our projects, this video in the app, and it's been extremely helpful for us to be able to visualize that all in one place.
So now that we've turned this endless list into small, more manageable lists, it's time to move all these items onto the application that we have been using and start prioritizing.
So we decided to base our priorities on a number of factors. For instance, weather conditions. Is there something that needs to be done in the warmer climates? Although it's September right now and the weather outside is absolutely shocking. Additionally, we needed to understand what needed to be done before we found a buyer, what needed to be done after we found a buyer. So there are things in our house that we want to sell, but we don't want to sell them before we sold the house. Also, there's things that we need to give away potentially to charity or donate to friends and family, or palm things off and say, there you go, have that.
Thanks, brother.
So how have we done all this? We've used an application called Millernote. Millernote is a useful tool to allow you to organise and visualise your projects and whatever you've got going on in these visual boards.
We added all the items to Millernote under each room so that it's a little bit easier to understand what he's doing in each room. And we then created a key to understand what was urgent, non-urgent, what needed priority, what I needed to do myself, and we started highlighting each item with a different color based on the key that we selected.
So for me, Millernote was a really useful tool. The main reason for it is because you're able to kind of have like your general project. Then there's the ability to click into more detail on different sections that you may have within your project. For us, it's better than having multiple files or page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. The navigation around the screen is very easy and very intuitive, and for us that was what was one of the things that kind of drew me to it. You can do color coding, and there's a lot of other really cool gadgets and tools within that, so you're going to need to go and check that out for yourself for sure.
Yes, so if you'd like to try it, we're going to add the link to the description.
So moving on to step 3. So it's all very well having lists on paper or on the computer, and don't get me wrong, Philippa loves a list.
Master of lists.
She's a master of lists, and I feel like everywhere I go there are lists, and generally my name is against a lot of things to be done, which I'm completely cool with. But at the end of the day, that doesn't get the jobs done. So what does?
So this is where we introduce you to free tool number 2, and this is a homemade tool again. It just uses a few pieces of paper. You can use a printer or a ruler and a pen again. We've decided to laminate it as well, purely because we want to be able to reuse this tool once we finish with this project. We can use it again for another project. So we use our dry clean pens and wipe it off when it's all finished and start again.
Also, things do change, right, with regards to planning. So if you need to make an amendment there and make an amendment there, that allows you to do that. So that's why we went for that option. So for me, when I mentioned visualization, I need to see it. So for us, we needed to create something that I could see, I could walk past every day. We can plan around other obligations that we have. Do we need to take extra holiday to get things done? Is there anything else we need to consider as we go through? And seeing that every day, it kind of does keep you honest. So that's what we were going for.
All I did was find a blank calendar on Canva, for which I printed a few copies of that I can use for the several months ahead of us.
Post printing these items off, we moved all of those tasks that are high priority from Millernote onto the calendars that we'd created, and then we prioritised them in order for when we needed to get them done.
And based on how long they take to complete.
Indeed.
So anything that needs 1 or 2 days would be allocated to a weekend. We have now put those calendars up on the wall, so they're there for us to see and remember every single day.
And I think when we have to make changes, that's not necessarily a good thing. So also we are very aware if we have to move things around or push things down the road. So whilst we all try and are hand at anything as far as fixing things around the house, there are certain jobs where we just don't have the expertise, right? As far as plumbing, electrics, that kind of good stuff. So any of those jobs that we need, we put on our list which need to be factored in, we will also put a placeholder maybe 3-4 weeks before that to ensure we've got a tradesman lined up to help us with what we need to do, or whether it be a family friend that will come and help us where we need it. Okay, so just to recap on the 3 items that we've run through. So 1, categorizing, getting everything down on a piece of paper. 2, prioritizing, how important is the item. So step 3 is allocating. So when and who is going to be doing these tasks.
Okay, the time has come for us to share the 3 tips with you that have helped us along the way.
And 1 bonus tip. Before we go on to the tips, if you are still with us, thank you very much for watching. If you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing and actually would mean the world to us, so thank you.
Tip number 1, how are we going to make sure that this plan and strategy really work? On Friday each week, we're going to look at the week ahead and see what we've got planned for the week. We're then going to make sure that we go out during the week to purchase all the items that we need to complete any renovations, or if there's a piece of furniture that needs moving, I'm going to make sure that I declutter it beforehand, and so on.
So tip number 2 is what not to do. So when we were looking around this house, we could have done a lot of other things to it as far as adding it to our list. For instance, upgrading our bathroom, knocking through the wall in our kitchen to make our kitchen, lounge, diner open planned. We have decided not to do those things because we don't know what our buyer of our property is going to want. They may want the toilet that we've currently got, which is fine. They may like a closed-off kitchen. So we decided to purposely not do certain things because 1, we don't think it's going to add any value, and 2, it's probably going to be a lot of upheaval for the next 6 to 8 months, even if we did start to do those things, which, again, we won't even be here to enjoy.
Yeah, so with the advice we got given from the estate agents regarding big jobs like that is only do it if it's something that you're going to enjoy yourself. Tip number 3, decluttering. This is really going to help you when it comes to moving day. If you've already got everything that you need to get out of the house because you're not keeping it, then it's going to make your moving so much faster and easier. While you're decluttering, have a couple of bags or boxes with you, and as you go through your items, you can start separating them between what you want to sell, what you want to donate, what you want to keep. And if there's anything that you want to keep and you know that you're not going to use between now and the new house, then you can start packing as well, and that means that you're not packing a whole house all in 1 week or 1 day.
So the bonus tip is to smile. Again, moving is an extremely stressful time, so you need to be there to support each other. Myself and Philippa very often are on different sides of different pages, and that can cause a little bit of friction. So again, smile, breathe, enjoy the journey, and if you need help, please do ask for help. Again, if we can do it, you can definitely do it. We've already put this strategy into action, and we've actually done a number of quite big tasks already. Check out our video about how we replaced our kitchen floor for £150 after we had a bit of a monumental leak under the floor. Thank you.
See you soon.